Welcome to VCS IT Solutions Private Limited. Today we are discussing about constraints in SQL. Constraints in SQL. Constraints in SQL. Generally, what is meant by constraint? A constraint is nothing but a rules. A constraint is nothing but a rule. SQL constraints are rules that you can apply on the data in a table. The constraints are rules that you can apply apply on the data in a table. Next one, it allows you to restrict only specific data that meets the regulations to go to a table. It allows you to restrict only specific data that meets rules and regulations to insert a table to insert a table. It allows you to restrict only specific data that meets rules and regulations to insert a table. It maintains the accuracy. Constraints in SQL. Constraints in SQL helps to maintain the accuracy, integrity, and reliability of tables data. Constraints in SQL helps to maintain the accuracy, integrity, and reliability of data. Next one, types of constraints. Basically, the constraints can be categorized into two types. One is a column level constraints. Column level constraints. Next one, table level constraints. Okay, column level constraints under table level constraints. The column level constraints are like as a unique, not null, check, default, and primary key. And the table level constraint is foreign key reference. Okay, column level constraints and table level constraints. Okay, coming to column level constraint, the main purpose of this constraint, unique constraint values cannot match any older value. That means don't allow the don't allow the duplicates. That means the values must be unique. The values must be unique. That means at the time of creating a table, we can apply the unique constraint to on top of any column. That column allow only unique values. Don't allow the duplicates. Next one, next one. Don't allow the null values. Values cannot be null. Values cannot be null. That means at the time of creating a table, we can apply the not null constraint on top of any column. That column must be required a value, not a null value. Compulsory value is required. That is a not null constraint. Coming to primary key constraint. Coming to primary key. It is a combination of both unique and not null. It is a combination of both unique and not null. Simply we are calling as unique plus not null constraint. Okay, at the time of creating a table, to apply the primary key constraint on top of any column, that column don't allow the duplicate values and don't allow the null values. Don't allow the duplicates and null values. Null values. The value must be required, but don't allow the duplicates. Okay, the value must be required. That is a unique value. Unique value. Next, another constraint, check constraint. Validate the condition. Validating the condition. Validate or check condition. Okay, check condition. That means at the time of creating a table, to apply the check constraint on top of any column, at the time of inserting the data, first verify that condition. If condition is satisfying, then only that value is inserted. Otherwise, that value is not inserted. That is a check constraint. Check constraint. Next one, set the default value to the column. To set the default value. To set the default value. Okay, at the time of creating a table, on top of any column, we can apply the default constraint. We can assign the default value. At the time of inserting the data, by mistakenly we are not inserting any value, that default value is inserted. That default value is inserted. Okay, these are the column level constraint: unique, not null, primary key, check constraint, and default constraint. Default constraint. Next, coming to table level constraint. Okay, it is main purpose. We are referencing to another table. We are referencing to another table. Reference is a row in another table. Reference is a row in another table. To maintain the relation between two tables, at the time we are using foreign key constraint. Foreign key constraint. This is about constraints concept. Constraints are nothing but rules to apply the columns at the time of inserting the data. Okay, whenever we can apply the constraint, to what is the benefit, we can maintain the accuracy of the data, integrity, and reliability. The constraints can be categorized into two types: column level constraints and table level constraints. This is about constraints in SQL. Constraints in SQL. Okay, thank you guys. Please subscribe to our channel for more updates.